What
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
really, okay. Yeah, what you're really shooting for here isn't the replacement of the existing page as much as it is an augmentation of the existing page with additional features. Hopefully you come out with about 3 pages in total, one focused on visualizer, one on designer, one on collaboration. It sounds like just the speed by which this is moving along, we should probably isn't the replacement of the existing page as much as it is an augmentation of the existing. Oh, sorry, I got the live stream happening at the same time. I apologize. Well, you might want to do, Shivam, given that there's 3 sections of work, or at least 3 pages of work, if there are others on the call that might be able to help out, we should probably do that because we want this one to be done relatively soon. Are there other people on the call that want to work on a page like this?
Yeah, I'll try to help.
Yeah, nice, Anirudh. All right. Yeah, and so Anirudh, there is Shivam will drop a link to designs in Figma. Some of the designs could use maybe a little, some help.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Well, we have like 22 participants from all the way from 14. So just when I was complaining about not having newcomers on the call, I think we might have a couple of newcomers on the call. So all those newcomers, would you like to introduce yourselves to us? Or should we like nitpick you? Okay, I think everyone was previously attended the call. So let's just move ahead with the agenda items. The next agenda item we have is Gurpreet's security vulnerability page. So would you like to go ahead with the PR?
Yeah, sure. I'll directly go to the PR. Let me share my screen. So is it visible to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my issue was to create a security vulnerability page for the main website, right? So it's in the handbook section of the community. I have added this security vulnerability column. You can click on it, and this is quite similar to the one which the documentation website of Meshery had. So I just like mimicked everything there, and this is the end result. Yeah, it was quite simple task, so I did it in a day or 2. Yeah. I have already raised a PR for this. It's, I guess, this one. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, who's got feedback?
Actually, you suggested some changes. I did that, and last time I think, Ishan mentioned that we should discuss it on the meet, so I bring it on here.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, great. We need to approve the workflow to build again with the latest changes that you've made. But so just for context for everyone else, there's a number of open source projects that we have and that you all steward and create and build on. And well, I don't know how to capture it. It's with some frequency, people will come by and point out a vulnerability. They do that on the Layer 5 IO site, on Meshery IO site, in the Meshery UI app. They do it in all the projects. And so, Gurpreet, I'm just giving it the rest of the people on the call a bit of context. And so we've had an established procedure for how to report security vulnerabilities for Meshery, that project specifically, but people report vulnerabilities across them all, like I was saying. And so it had been a suggestion that in the community handbook on Layer 5 IO that we, sort of regurgitate that procedure here. And so Gurpreet is doing that. As he does that and establishes kind of a new mailing address for vulnerabilities, not at meshery.dev, I think it was where the other one is, but at something like vulnerabilities at Layer 5 IO or some other some other mailer is probably appropriate. Gurpreet, I think that's my outstanding feedback that maybe I haven't given just yet, and that is that you would scrub the content of what's said such that it's not Meshery specific, but just a broader term for something more generic. Yeah.
So you want it to be like more layer 5 specific, right?
Yeah, or maybe the opposite of the word specific of like broad.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, indirect or broader. Like I'm kind of hoping that we can get away with, if someone wants to report a vulnerability on Nighthawk, that we haven't established this procedure specifically for Nighthawk. And so it would be nice if this one was a catch-all. Not that we shouldn't continue to have specific procedures. It's just that we haven't built them out for all the rest. So if this one is a catch-all, that'd be nice. That actually would have you then reflect on the table that's there, where it calls out, like for one or two of the vulnerabilities that people have reported in the past, we considered, well, it's like a lot of things that we do here. We want to encourage folks that report vulnerabilities. We want to encourage them to report more and to help us ensure that we get that vulnerability patched. And one of the ways that we do that is, on occasion, we will file that vulnerability to get a CVE, to get a unique identifier for that specific item, and help try to get their name on it, or give them something on their resume, or whatever, or just experience under their belt, or whatever they're looking for. And so either the table, the entries that you have for Meshery now, you can either think of this as a catalog of a centralized catalog of all the vulnerabilities potentially from all the rest of the projects, or you might remove those entries and leave them only in Meshery, but it kind of depends on how you phrase it. It could work either way.
Okay, sure.
Okay. And yeah, if anybody else has thoughts about that, one of the things that I think it'd be nice, nice for all of you to think about a little bit is there's a couple of, and more than a couple of areas that people engage within and contribute to the project and to the community. And this is an example of one of those areas where it's not always necessarily clear that so-and-so helped here. And like I was saying, we want to try to uplift the works and efforts that people give. And that's why we talk about have a member profile, or we invite people to join the organizations, or we give them suggest that they get a badge on their profile, or there's a variety of activity. We'll send them a free ebook, or we'll tweet about them. We'll LinkedIn about them. We'll talk about that. We don't do enough of that. We're trying to. If people are participating on the discussion forum and answering a lot of questions, like there should be there's definitely points assigned. There's definitely a bunch of reports that have that info. We want to talk about that and uplift people. And the reason that I'm going through this spiel is to say, is to wonder aloud with all of you so UX is kind of another one of those areas where there's a lot of good work that can happen, often in Figma, not always, but often there. And how does that get exposed? And how do people, how do we help people be proud of that? And one of the thoughts is that, that names would be recorded here, for example, if a vulnerability was listed, to the extent that person wants to, like nearly all the time that they desire to put their name on their work. And so that's something to think about, Gurpreet, if we're able to, if there's a space for that person's name or their GitHub username or whatever they might prefer. And for the rest of you, as you think about that, I'll use the UX work as the other example of there can be a way of people signing their work in some respects, like it could be a wall or a page inside the community handbook that talks about, that thanks them for their stuff, or that just says, hey, they did this work at this time. Here's a link to that design. And maybe it's still in use, maybe it's not, or things for you all to think about.
It's a great idea having that in the community handbook.
Yeah, it could be creative. I mean, especially the UX one, to the extent that people are visually creative with UX, that maybe it's a board that gets signed or something. I don't know. Maybe instead of just their name or what have you, or a collage of all the designs that people have made or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we can surely work on that.
Nice. Okay. You stopped your screen share. I was going to ask people if they have any other feedback for you, Gurpreet, but cool. Let's move ahead with
Okay,
the
sure.
next item. I think you've got adequate feedback for now. It's just fine if you move to the next item. So the next item we have is Suhail's converting stack of category filters to the carousel. And is Suhail on the call? I don't think Suhail is on the call today. So if he joins later, we'll surely discuss this topic. But for now, let's move on to the next topic. The next topic we have is, again, it was going to be discussed by Anita, but due to some interview, she had an interview at the same time and it was conflicting with the meeting. So she is not on the call as well today. Again, this is not going to be discussed. If Suhail joins, we'll discuss this agenda item. But for now, let's move on to the next category, which is Meshery.io. And the first agenda item in that list is Arunima's navbar dropdown PR. So Arunima, would you like to discuss the PR?
Maybe you can go with the next item, and after that I can go actually, then I can, open the web page.
Okay, sure. Take your
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Cool. The next PR we have is Prakash's fixing the width of the container. So is Prakash on the call today? Yeah, Prakash is not on the call as well, but so okay, is Yash on the call? Okay, Yash is on the call. So Yash, your PR is next because we just skipped 2 PRs. So would you like to go ahead with your logo PR in the dark mode? Yash, am I audible?
Oh, yeah, that might be a different Yash. Which one are you on? You're on the, yeah, so that's, or are there 2 Yashes? Because there's just Hedge that I see.
Actually, no, I think there's something different, Yash.
Oh, okay. So you both have the same name as well as the last name.
Yeah, maybe.
That's interesting. Cool. So I think the one with the PR is not on the call today. Okay, interesting. Fine. The fourth agenda item which we have is Anand's changes made to the icon and text of all the catalogs. So I hope he's on the call, which I don't see.
Hey, Ishan, I was in call. Like suddenly I got disconnected.
Okay, who is this? Okay. Oh yeah, okay,
Prakash.
Prakash. I got it. Okay, cool. Do you want to go ahead with your PR then?
No, you just continue. It's a simple line. Just fix the width of the container.
Okay, cool. It's fine. So, okay. So, okay, then is Sandeep on the call? Yeah, Sandeep is on the call.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Would you like to discuss your PR, which is?
Yes, I want to
item.
discuss, but I just resolved the merge conflicts yesterday. I think day after yesterday, I discussed with Shivam. So how to resolve, because I'm very new to GitHub and open source community. I don't know about DOC, then I read it about it. And Lee is continuously helping me and sending me the description and documentations to how to resolve. That's why. Wait.
Okay,
Yes.
no problem. We'll just have a look at your PR then.
A bit conflicts. I don't know why it's there, because my part was simple, that change the text color and align the items.
Oh, okay. So do you need any help resolving the conflicts, or you
Yes,
just
I'm
got the resources?
yes, I was Shivam helped me to how to resolve. Then I just did now, so you can check it.
Oh, Okay, sure. We'll have a check after the meeting. So it was a simple fix, right? Your PR.
Yeah, it was a simple fix.
Okay, cool. No
I
problem.
was busy doing my project, so that's why it's late. Otherwise, it should be done so quick. It was so like basic. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I got you. Cool. Then we have the last agenda item in this list is Chinu's text visibility issue with copy URL button. So I think
Yeah,
you
yeah.
added it, right? Would you like to go ahead?
Yes, I just added it.
Okay,
Just a
finally we are
second.
discussing a PR.
Hmm. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
Which screen is? Yeah. So this is the PR. Sorry, this is the issue I have raised according to. There's a problem in the catalog page. So when you visit here, you can see that when you go down, it's copied to clipboard. I don't know why it is here, what the use case of this, because if you click copy URL, it's changed to copied. And when you hover down, but even if you click on this button, it is still copied. So there is I need some UX related suggestion, like what I need to do actually. So that's why, like if I change the visibility, let's say to permanent, it will look like something like this. I can make this in a easy way, but the thing is, there's copy URL and there is copy to clipboard. It will confuse user. And yeah, you can see that it is a button and this is just a span. It's here. It's just a span message. Nothing to be here. So I need some UX level suggestion to what actually to fix it, like how to go on with this.
Right. So we do have a lot of members who can give suggestion on this. So if I do have a suggestion, but then I'll let others discuss. So if would anyone like to give their feedback on what's happening and what should be done? It is not that hard. I mean, it should be easy. A lot of people can give feedback on this.
I think like the copy URL button should be the only button, and when we click on it, there should be copied box there, right?
Yeah, that was also I was thinking, like when you just
Yeah.
copy URL click, the copied button should be here, like copied message should be here, like the
Yeah,
user have
exactly.
copied.
What we can do on hovering, we not showing the text rather than only hovering on the copy URL, or just then showing the text. I think this.
Can you please come up again? I couldn't understand what actually.
Actually, what I was saying, when we are hovering on the copy URL button, just we can show the text, and then only then, not on this black button. You understand?
No, like when I go here, it should be copied to clipboard.
So what I'm saying, only on hovering the copy URL button, just
Okay,
to
okay.
then
Only
only
just
make,
hovering the copy
yeah,
URL, this
yeah,
should be okay. Okay, now I understand.
yeah,
That's one way also. Only the copy URL, and then in the
yeah.
right side,
That's thing. Yeah.
yeah, it is just made something like that. It's the whole part. You can see, yeah, it's the whole this box complete. So whenever you go here, yeah, that can be done also.
What I think is,
Mm.
I think the first suggestion someone gave was appropriate, that just removing the copy to clipboard option works, because clicking either of the buttons is going to copy your URL to the clipboard.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter which button you click. So I think copy URL should only be the option, and the next button should be removed on the hover effect as well. I would love to hear what others think.
Yes, I would like to add on. So maybe when we are clicking on the copy URL button, we can change the text to copied, and that should work. And we
Yeah,
can
the
completely
copy
remove that.
URL text change. You suggesting?
Yes, we can change that text to copied rather than keeping a separate
Uh,
button.
I would say that message on the right side or elsewhere, it will be much better in my opinion.
Because if you like change the text to the copied, then it won't change again to copy URL. And if if the user want to copy the URL again, I think there should be a separate text also. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a problem. Yeah, maybe we can just show a message saying that it is copied.
Yeah. What I was also thinking,
Right.
like just when you click, a copied message should be here, just like that. This
Yeah,
is the final state and this is the initial state. That's all.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, makes
The
That
sense.
looks
middle
good.
copy to clipboard should be deleted. What I think, and Ishan also said.
Yeah, I think
Think
yeah,
so.
the thing you just said makes sense. So if you haven't opened a PR for this and this issue is still there,
Yeah,
I'd encourage you to open a PR in the
yeah, I
relevant
will do
repository.
it. So
Okay
so
then.
that
You don't
was
have a
all
PR
the
up
issue.
yet, right?
Yeah, I will create a PR for this.
No, but you still don't have a PR up, right?
No, it's not PR. I just
Oh,
raised
okay.
an issue and was waiting for some suggestion.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. Cool. Thank you, Prakash. And
It's
I hope
changed.
you've got, yeah, I hope you've got your feedback. So is there anything you want to discuss? I just cut you off, sorry.
No, that's all I
Okay.
got.
Cool. Cool. Arunima, are you ready with your PR?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Would you like to share the
I'm
screen?
just happy after so many days there is no much conflicts. Okay, so this is a PR and this is the website. So I was working on this nav menu and this is how it looks.
Looks good.
Okay.
So why don't we have this merge yet? Like,
no, it is not merged yet.
so yeah, that is why don't we have it merged yet? Because if it like it looks fine to me because it's the issue has been around for like 2 months, I think.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. Looks good to me. I'd love what others think. Any suggestions on the navbar?
Can we remove this scroll bar or we should highlight it? It's not looking good.
Okay,
The one
so
on the
like
right
when
side.
we expand this, that's when, we will actually need the scroll bar.
Or modify it according to the website. Do some color.
Maybe can you be more specific about the changes so that I can make them?
Like in the bottom, there's a bar or a grayish color. It's not looking good. So we can remove that thing. When we are scrolling, we can change or we can, it's too long. We can put it short height of the scroll bar. So it will not be visible too. That's how.
Do you mean making the background transparent?
I think he's
Or,
talking about I think he's talking about horizontal scroll bar at the bottom.
there is no horizontal scroll bar.
No, it is actually not an horizontal scroll bar. It is just a line
A
because
design
the
actually.
color of the
Yeah, let me show you.
background site and the navbar is same. So it's just to differentiate or just to tell the user that the navbar is ending here. She has put a bar there. It's not a horizontal scroll bar, but yeah, we can remove that and consider other options.
Can you change it in a dark mode?
Yeah,
This
of
time.
course.
Yeah, this thing bottom.
One other thing what you can do is when the menu is open, there should be a cross button over there instead of the hamburger icon. That could just be an additional function.
Okay, like there is an issue, I guess, open regarding this.
Oh, okay. You can like
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
in your PR itself.
Okay.
Can you please over at resources to community and the color is changing on.
No, it is
We can-
not changing.
We can put like this. That's too. We can put this only on the playground, not on all wide. Yes, that's coming whole because it's focusing on mid part. You can see it's not focusing on left or right. When we are in screen mode or mobile mode, As you can see, when we are hovering over it, it's mainly the color is mainly focusing on mid and right part, and the left part
Okay.
it's transparent. So
Okay.
we can make it or do like you can reverse that. The right part should become to left.
Okay, I
It
got
should
it.
then fade. It should be like
Like
dark then.
reverse the gradient changes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Cool. It's a lot of feedback. Any other feedback for Arunima? I think it's good. A lot of people are giving feedback today. Active participation. That's really great.
So let me just sum up the changes. One is that change this to a cross icon here itself, and maybe link the issue with it. And another one is that make changes in the gradient, right? And like if anyone else suggested any other changes, can you please repeat it so that I can note them down and make the changes?
Someone was giving feedback about the scroll bar.
That bottom line. I was saying about that bottom line, the differentiate between. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is
Okay.
just to tell the user that the navbar is ending here. That is, I don't think there's. You can try something better, to be honest, but this
We
looks
can
fine.
make.
Like why not the menu should take the full height of the screen?
Sorry.
Like let
I
the
couldn't.
menu be like taking the full height of the screen.
That won't look good, I would
What he's
say.
trying
Like,
to say is, what if the menu takes the entire screen up, and when you then close the menu, then the menu goes away, and then your site comes back, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, sure.
I think a little drop shadow will work here. Leo also suggested it in the chat. I think that will be good.
Well, then
like
if there's
drop
a lot of
shadow
feedback,
where?
let's do one thing. I'll just add a section under Arunima's PR, and everyone can add
Yeah,
their
yeah.
feedback there.
Yes, that would like help me a lot.
Yeah. So I've added a section here under Arunima's PR in the Google Docs, so everyone can go there and add their suggestions there. So then she can have a track of what's fixed and what's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Cool. That's a lot of feedback for you today. So yeah, cool. Let's thank you, Arunima. Let's move to the next agenda item. Okay. Can you see my screen? No, I don't think so. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for the meshery.io site. And,
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't have Yash and Anand, and I think so. This is discussed, right? Cool. So again, for the Meshery docs, Gaganpreet is not on the call today because she's not well. She had earlier told in Slack. So we can discuss this on other remaining PRs in the next in the Meshery development meeting or the next website's call.
Yeah.
But for
I wouldn't.
now,
Sorry to interrupt, but I wouldn't mind. This is the most important one from my perspective. It's a decent amount of work, so it's something that's been worked on for some time, and it's kind of changed hands as people have come and gone. I wonder if you don't mind if we could just spend a moment to look at maybe the latest deployment preview, and we could just get a sense of how far away it is.
The latest one we have is of December 18. Will that work?
Well, if I don't think, yeah, that one wouldn't seem like it would have the latest commits. If you go to the very top, is there a table that has, no, okay.
That is on the Meshery site.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, then I guess it's not worth looking at. Maybe I guess I'll go build it and take a look. It's really exciting that this would land. and it would just be like another week. I know it would be like another week before we would actually come back and give feedback, and there would be feedback, and then there would be another week of people working on it, and then there would be more feedback, and then and then I'll have to choke my computer. Anyway, it's great. It's really exciting.
Yeah. So are you going to build this now? And
yeah, you know, maybe I'll go build it and come back, and maybe there's an opportunity for some of the folks on the call to help out a bit with the tying it off. Just, yeah.
That works. That works. I'll just cover some of these topics, and then you can show us a preview. Cool. Cool. Then next up, we have nothing to discuss totally FI.io. So we are moving to getnighthawk.dev, and in getnighthawk.dev, we have Subedy's updates and discuss forum integration.
Yeah, it's completed. Like I said in the last meeting also, like everything is coming, just needs to be merged. Unfortunately, I was like, I could not get enough permission to like merge it. So Lee, if you could like just click that merge button quickly, it will be helpful.
Sure. On Nighthawk. All right. Very good.
Yeah. The Nighthawk and the SMP one also, there's one pending.
It's also, let's make sure that let's get you that permission, Subedy. It's certainly time.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. If this is done, Subedy, you have like 2 other topics, or like 1 other topic in Meshery Cloud. So would you like to go ahead? Because
this was already discussed in the last meeting, so there's no new discussion required in this, I guess.
Cool. Okay. So email templates were also discussed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I think that's it for like the main agenda items. I have 2 items in the general, because there have been these 2 PRs which I just saw, and they've been hanging around for like months now, and the contributors are either not active, or maybe due to some problems they're not able to just fix these 2 small issues. So if anyone is interested, you can obviously have a look. So this one is one of them, like an infinite car is in the partner section on leafy.io. But one more PR which I think is very easy and relatively newcomer friendly is this PR, which is right here. So I don't think Sam Code is quite active in the community. So if anyone is willing to fix this issue, you can quickly submit a PR or 2. Like, it's just changing the CDK to logo. So yeah, I don't think he's.
No, he's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just drop a link to the issue, and maybe any one of you can.
Yeah, actually, Utkarsh Mishra, you should take that, in part because the way that those integrations are controlled is through that central spreadsheet that tracks all the logos, and so changes that are made to the integrations section directly to the website, changes that are made like in that way, they can be overwritten from changes that are made in the spreadsheet, and so it's a little bit of a different contribution model. And so Utkarsh Mishra.
Sure.
Yeah.
No issues. I will be taking care of.
That's great. So if that is out of the way, the second one we have is, again, as I said, this is converting the. What was it? Oh no, this was the same one. Sorry. Yeah, and infinite car is in the partner section, right? So this is easy as well. So if anyone is interested in working on this, because you'll land your PR on the main page, so that is a great thing to do. So if anyone is interested, you can have a look at this issue and this PR as well, because I think if I pronounce it right, teriyaki attack has not been active. So yeah, if anyone wants to take it up, you're free to. So I'll post the link to this issue in the chat as well.
On a related note to something very similar to this, it's also on the main page, and it's much more desired than this infinite carousel on the partner section. The partner section is actually intentionally designed such that it would be great if someone picked up that issue. Great. There's another one that if I'll briefly describe, because it's actually very much desired, and you'll get a lot of support in trying to get it done, which is, Sean is almost there. It's right underneath the search area for there's I think Botany, one of the UXers here, I know he designed a single row collection of categories. So there's the search bar, and then there's 3 rows of these different categories, different filters that you can use to look at all of the integrations. And on the main page, we're trying to keep it fairly tight. And so there's a design out there that uses a carousel, which is why I'm bringing it up, very similar to the other issue. It uses a carousel just to have left and right arrows and keep this category filters just 1 row high. If somebody is into that, let's do it. There should be an open issue. Maybe someone is assigned. They're definitely not working on it. Arunima.
I'd like to interrupt. Actually, Suhail is not here today. He has an open PR already for the same issue.
Okay.
I think he's working on it because he pushed some commits today. I got a
nice. Oh, nice. Okay.
So once that is out, we are done for today's agenda. But there was one more item which I wanted to discuss because it is an interesting one, and obviously everyone can give feedback on that issue. Is changing the font on the site. Oh, sorry. To Kinea Soft. Was it right? So we can take feedback on that issue as well.
Yeah, that'd be great, just to get, opinion, just to see what it looks like, see if it makes sense. So there's 2 fonts that are in the brand guide for Layer 5 IO. There's a whole PowerPoint, or not PowerPoint. Oh my gosh. There's a whole slide deck on that's a brand guide for Layer 5, and it talks about who we are and who we're trying to speak to and this kind of thing. There's the brand page, sure, but there's a different deck that goes a little more in depth. And part of what that deck has, and part of what is identified in the design system in Figma for Layer 5 is, typography is one of the things. And currently the brand guide and the design system call for use of 2 fonts. Canella's Soft, which is the font family that you see in bold with the 150 plus integrations. And then it also calls for use of Open Sans, which is the font that you see in the titles of those category filters. Or no, it isn't. Not right. It's what it's what you normally see. Right now, what you're seeing is basically the whole site having gone to Canella's Soft. And so it's just so there's an exploratory suggestion to potentially shift from use of both of those fonts, because normally what we have is Canella's Soft being used in the headings, and then for the body text, that's an Open Sans, and that's what the site currently has. And I think that's what discuss.layer5io has as well, and maybe some other sites. And so if we end up sharing this deploy preview link here in the meeting and maybe in Slack, you all can take a look and see what you think, see if one of them strikes you as more aesthetically pleasing than the next.
So first feedback, I think the one with the one in the preview is better than what we have here. So this is what we have here, and this is the preview one. So It's a little slick. It's a little thinner. So I think it's better, the one we have in the preview. Cool. Anyone interested? Like anyone can give suggestions. It's just about which one is better and which one is better than the other. So yeah, you all are welcome
Yeah.
to tell us which.
The second one, the one that is being shown is better, obviously, because it's more aesthetically pleasing, as Lee said. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So this one is Canela soft, right? Lee?
Yeah, it is quite readable too.
Oh yeah, right. True. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. That is out as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today's agenda, as well as we discuss some other issues as well. Lee, we are not discussing the dark mode and Meshery docs, right, today, because the preview is not on.
Yeah, actually, I'll take the ball for just a moment. Take the ball. Wow, that's a throwback to WebEx. Yeah, I'll share this for a moment. So Krishna Gupta and Ganganpreet Kalsikar, and I think I thought at least one other person had worked on or are working on. I know this is kind of small, but are working on an open pull request in the Meshery repo. Meshery, that repo has not only Meshery server and Meshery UI and Meshery CLI, it also has Meshery docs. So there's an effort underway to change Meshery docs to, well, initially it was to have a dark mode for Meshery docs, but the effort has morphed into, I think, quite a bit more of, well, just uplift, sort of a facelift for the site itself. So I've just built it, I've refreshed. I'm using Safari to the extent that that matters. So here's what I think is the latest. Wait a second. I think I pulled all the, okay, yeah. Here's that latest work. We've definitely looked at this previously on this just, a little bit larger font here might be nice for folks. There've been suggestions in the past to potentially get off of Jekyll and use something like Docusaurus, or get off of Jekyll and use Hugo with a theme like the Doxy theme, Doxy. Largely, I think those two suggestions came about for probably one significant reason, and that was that the theme that we were using in Jekyll didn't have native support for versioning of the site. And so we ended up augmenting the theme to support multiple versions. And so we have a solution in place, although anyway, although it can take some time to build the site using Ruby, using Jekyll, maybe moving to Hugo with Go, and a theme that natively has support for just like, that's something that we could certainly consider. It's a bunch of rework, hopefully for the better. I'm almost shouldn't have brought that up in the same breath that we're looking at this facelift. So maybe that suggestion to potentially use a different framework, it's a separate discussion, something that someone might want to try. But to look at this, like it's, there's all kinds of great things to say. We reviewed this before. I just wanted to get a quick sense of how far off it was, if some of the more challenging issues that we discussed like this had been addressed. And no, like this is probably one of the probably few outstanding blockers that we have for moving forward here, which is this is unintuitive. And what we would ideally have is a pull tab. And there's an example of what a pull tab is for this sidebar in the PR. So folks need some help. Like Gurpreet, you're sitting there and it looks like your fingers aren't moving at the moment, which means like, they might want to do something like on something like this. one thing to note, one thing that's counterintuitive to me, I don't know if it's counterintuitive to everyone else, but you watch as the site has a few media queries, or it has a few points of responsiveness. Actually, I personally believe media queries shouldn't really, like, if you are designing well or using CSS well, you wouldn't use them. That you would have been, that you'd be using a more dynamic CSS that that does change and shift. It is responsive, but doesn't do it on certain breakpoints. You can notice that one of the breakpoints here is that the font gets even smaller in order to, I think, fit more into the page. What, my goodness, that gets pretty tiny, especially if you get onto a mobile device. It's kind of the inverse that you want happening. It's kind of counterintuitive to me, but it's like the smaller the screen that you're on, the larger the font that you want, which is kind of weird. You usually think like the smaller the screen, you need to compact it and get more on, but actually, if Ayush Sharma was on, he's been going through Lighthouse and the integration of Lighthouse into the CI for Layer 5 IO. One of the negative marks that you'll get and the lower page rank you might have for your site is if things are too squished. If you're not giving, like for a button specifically, if you don't give 48 by 48 pixels of size for your button to click, for that, your big fat thumb to hit, or my big fat thumb, and if you don't give enough space between the next button over as well, negative marks. And so anyway, something that I'm seeing here is, we probably went the wrong way. The font should probably get bigger. And I think as I continue to get smaller, it does come back a little bit, but so just, those are probably about, yeah, good. If you get small enough, both of these, the in-page navigation goes away, and which is great. And so, yeah, just a quick look to see.
We'll have this discussed in the next websites in detail, because hopefully government people will be there. Until then, I think Yash Sharma is in the call. So if we are on time, which we are, we still have 5 minutes remaining. So I think the second Yash Sharma is on the call as well. So if he might discuss his PR, that would be great, because I see his cursor on the Google Doc. Yash, am I audible?
Yes. Yeah. You are audible. Actually, I am working on that, and I'm in some problems actually with the pass. I'm working actually, and I will try to show my screen and show the changes in the next Meshery call. So just can't really right now because I'm somewhere out. That's why.
Understandable. Cool.
Hey, Ishan.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Ishan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I had some feedback for Chinu Anand, who was working on the copy issue. If I could just have just 1 second, if he's still around.
Yeah, he's around. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Okay. So if you pull up the console here for the developer tips, and you can see it's triggering here this span class here when you hover over it. And I'm pretty sure that it's somewhere, if you pull up the event listeners, I think that the logic is here inside of this install hook.js and the render.js. If you pull that up inside of the sources, I think that you can look around in there and maybe implement some logic to prevent that from occurring. That's where I would start. And that's all I have to share on the issue.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I think, yeah, I will look at it.
Cool. So now you know exactly where to start. Cool. Then it's I think we have pretty much covered all the agenda as well as some extra items today. So it'll be fine if we just stop for today's websites call. So yeah, that's great. Thank you for joining, everyone, and hopefully see you on the next websites call on next Monday.
So thanks, Ishan.
Thank you, Sean.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.